Stop pouring yourself a glass of water before bed tonight. I know, that sounds completely backwards. Water is healthy. Hydration is the one thing every doctor, every health coach, every wellness article agrees on. But if you're over 60 and you're waking up 2, 3, sometimes 4 times every single night, that glass of water sitting on your nightstand might actually be working against you. And before you close this video, let me answer the question you're already asking. If I drink anything in the evening, won't that make things even worse? Won't I be running to the bathroom every hour? Not if you know what to drink. Not if you drink it at the right moment, in the right amount, the right way. The right evening drink doesn't just avoid disturbing your bladder, it actively helps your body slide into deep, uninterrupted sleep. As a cardiologist, I had spent years watching the link between poor sleep and heart disease play out in my patients. Now, I was watching it in myself, and that's when I understood something I had been overlooking. The problem wasn't the amount of water I was drinking. It was the type of liquid I was reaching for in the evening hours. Plain water, in the evening, does exactly one thing. It fills your bladder and wakes you up at 3 a.m. It doesn't tell your nervous system to slow down. It doesn't warm your core. It carries none of the compounds your body is actively searching for when it's trying to enter deep sleep and stay there. In another video, I covered the timing side. When to drink, why morning hydration matters most. Today, I want to talk about something different. What to drink in the evening instead. 5 drinks, ranked from the most familiar to the most powerful. And the one at the very top of that list, the one I almost dismissed entirely, didn't just help me sleep longer and deeper. It helped rebuild my joints, restore my muscles overnight, and I woke up the next morning with legs that actually felt light. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear might change tonight.
Let me explain why plain water fails you at night after 60. During the day, plain water is irreplaceable. It hydrates your cells, supports kidney function, moves nutrients through your bloodstream. Nobody is questioning that. But at night, plain water offers your sleep nothing. It doesn't slow your nervous system. It doesn't relax your muscles. It contains no magnesium, no glycine, no tryptophan, the 3 compounds your body needs most to drop into deep sleep and stay there through the night. And after 60, your body processes nighttime fluids very differently than it did at 40. Antidiuretic hormone, the chemical signal that tells your kidneys to hold on to water while you sleep, declines steadily with age. Melatonin production also falls year after year. Your bladder wall becomes thinner and more reactive, sending urgency signals far earlier than it used to. And once that signal pulls you out of deep sleep, getting back there becomes harder and harder. So the answer isn't to stop drinking altogether. It's to upgrade what you're drinking. To choose liquids that carry magnesium to unwind your muscles, glycine to quiet your brain, tryptophan for your body to convert into the melatonin it's no longer making enough of on its own, or plant compounds that dial down your stress response and support the natural sleep rhythm your body is still trying to maintain. These drinks don't rush to your bladder. They don't chill your stomach. When you use them correctly, they give your tissues just enough hydration to carry you through the night instead of sending it straight to your kidneys. And here's the part that matters most. You don't need much. 1 small cup, the right ingredients, the right timing. That alone can shift your sleep in a single night. If you want to sleep 6 to 7 hours straight without a single bathroom trip, comment, "I want this" below, and I'll give you 6 specific strategies to help you drink smarter without waking your bladder up. Now, 5 drinks that can replace plain water in the evening. Drink number 5, warm, unsweetened almond milk. Most people assume that if dairy helps with sleep, it has to be cow's milk. But after 60, when the digestive system becomes less tolerant of lactose, cow's milk often creates more discomfort than it resolves. Almond milk offers a gentler, more effective alternative. And just 1 small warm glass in the evening can meaningfully improve how deeply older adults sleep. The reason comes down to 2 compounds working together. Magnesium, which dials down the activity of stimulating receptors in the brain, helping your muscles release tension and your nervous system shift toward rest. And tryptophan, an amino acid that the body converts first into serotonin, the relaxation hormone, and then, as the night deepens, into melatonin, the primary signal for deep sleep. A 2014 study published in the Journal of Research and Medical Sciences followed adults who consumed almond milk twice daily for 2 weeks. Their deep sleep time increased by an average of 22 minutes. They woke up less frequently during the night, and they reported feeling sharper and more alert when morning came. Unsweetened almond milk also avoids the blood sugar spike that flavored or sweetened versions cause, a particularly important consideration for older adults managing prediabetes or digestive sensitivity at night. For best results, choose a version with no added sugar and no flavoring. Warm 120 to 150 milliliters. Drink it 60 to 90 minutes before bed. A pinch of cinnamon on top adds gentle warmth and lightly supports nighttime circulation. Simple as it looks, this small glass delivers a dual effect, calming your nervous system while reinforcing your body's biological sleep timing. If you've never tried it, start tonight. Almond milk settles the body. But if your real problem is a mind that keeps running after your head hits the pillow, thoughts looping, worries surfacing, a heart that never quite slowed down, then the next drink is the one you need. No calories, no bloating, and just a few sips can bring a noticeable stillness to an overactive brain. Drink number 4, chamomile tea. You don't need a prescription. You don't need anything habit-forming. Sometimes a single, quiet cup of tea is enough to turn down the volume on your racing thoughts and help you fall into natural, undisturbed sleep. Chamomile is one of the most reliable ways to get there. It contains no caffeine, it doesn't create dependency, but it holds a quietly powerful compound called apigenin, a plant-based flavonoid that binds directly to GABA receptors in the brain. These are the receptors responsible for regulating anxiety, mental tension, and the timing of your sleep-wake cycle. When apigenin activates them, brain excitability eases, heart rate softens, and the nervous system begins making its way toward rest. Your eyelids grow heavier. Your thoughts lose their urgency. Your breathing finds a slower rhythm on its own. A 2015 clinical trial conducted in Iran and published in the Journal of Advanced Nursing followed women over 65 who drank chamomile tea every evening for 2 weeks. The findings were clear. Time to fall asleep shortened by an average of 16 minutes. Nighttime awakenings fell by more than 30% compared to those who didn't drink tea. And 80% of participants described their sleep as deeper and more pleasant than before. Unlike sleep medications that force unconsciousness, chamomile resets your body's readiness for sleep naturally. It doesn't knock you out. It simply signals to the brain that the day is done. To use it properly, steep 1 chamomile bag in hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. Let it cool to a comfortable warmth. Sip it slowly, 45 to 60 minutes before bed. A thin slice of ginger or a drop of pure vanilla can add depth and warmth. Avoid honey or sugar, especially if you're watching your blood glucose levels. If you regularly go to bed with your mind still wound up, try 1 cup tonight. The calm it brings is quiet, but it runs deep. And if you feel a difference, share it in the comments. Your experience might be the reason someone else finally sleeps tonight. Chamomile quiets the mind. But the next drink carries something none of the others do. Melatonin that's already formed, already ready, requiring no conversion, no waiting, no biological processing step in between. Drink number 3, tart cherry juice. Most people have never connected this drink to sleep, but tart cherry is one of the very few foods on Earth that naturally contains melatonin in concentrations high enough to move the needle. Not a precursor, not a building block, actual melatonin, ready for your bloodstream to use the moment it arrives. A 2010 study in the Journal of Medicinal Food followed adults who drank tart cherry juice twice daily for 2 weeks. Sleep duration increased by an average of 84 minutes. Not 8 minutes, 84. A 2012 follow-up study in the European Journal of Nutrition confirmed that tart cherry juice significantly raised circulating melatonin levels and improved both the quality and the length of sleep. Beyond melatonin, tart cherries are rich in anti-inflammatory compounds, which matters enormously for older adults who are regularly pulled awake at 3 or 4 a.m. by joint pain that builds quietly through the night. Let me tell you about one of my patients. I'll call him Robert. 71 years old, a retired civil engineer. He had worked his way through chamomile tea, warm milk, over-the-counter melatonin tablets. Nothing kept him asleep. He was still waking 2 or 3 times a night and dragging through every morning. When I suggested tart cherry juice, he looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Fruit juice, for sleep. He came back a week later looking like a different man. He said he had only woken up once all week and fallen straight back to sleep each time. He told me that hadn't happened in 6 years. To use it correctly, choose 100% pure tart cherry juice with absolutely no added sugar. Pour 60 to 90 milliliters. You can dilute it slightly with warm water if the tartness is too sharp. Drink it 60 to 90 minutes before bed. One important caution: tart cherries can interact with blood-thinning medications. If you're on anticoagulants, speak with your doctor before adding this to your routine. Tart cherry delivers melatonin directly to your system, but melatonin alone can't do everything. If cortisol, your primary stress hormone, is still elevated when you lie down, no amount of melatonin will be sufficient. Your brain stays on alert, your heart keeps its daytime pace, and you spend the night half awake, frustrated, with no idea why your body won't let go. The next drink addresses exactly that. If this video is helping you, please take a moment to hit the like button. It helps us reach other seniors who are lying awake right now and don't know these options exist. Subscribe if you haven't yet and turn on notifications. We're here every single week with guidance rooted in evidence built specifically for people over 60. Now, drinks number 2 and number 1, the two that genuinely transformed my own sleep, and the one at the top, I believe, can do the same for you. Drink number 2, golden milk, turmeric with black pepper. Have you ever climbed into bed with nothing weighing on you, no urgent worries, nothing obviously wrong, and still been completely unable to sleep? Your heart still beating a little fast, your thoughts still flickering, your body tired but somehow unable to release the day, that restless, unresolved feeling without any clear cause. That's cortisol, and it doesn't need a reason to stay high. When your stress hormone is still circulating at bedtime, even when you feel calm, your brain remains on low-level guard. Melatonin can't fully take hold. Your heart rate doesn't drop into its nighttime range, and you lie there in a kind of exhausted wakefulness that feels almost more draining than not sleeping at all. And as a cardiologist, I want you to understand this clearly. Elevated nighttime cortisol doesn't only steal your sleep, it places continuous pressure on your heart and blood vessels through every hour of the night, over months, over years. The connection between poor sleep and cardiovascular disease isn't coincidental, it's direct. Curcumin, the active compound inside turmeric, is one of the rare natural substances capable of directly regulating the HPA axis. That's the communication network linking your brain, your pituitary gland, and your adrenal glands, the system where your stress hormone output is controlled. When curcumin is properly absorbed, it reduces cortisol production, boosts GABA activity in the brain, and calms the prefrontal cortex, the region that keeps churning through thoughts long after the rest of you wants to stop. The problem is absorption. On its own, curcumin passes through the gut largely unused. That's where black pepper becomes essential. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, activates specific gut enzymes that increase curcumin absorption by a factor of 7 to 8. Combined with warm milk, the calming effect reaches your nervous system faster and more completely. A 2019 study published in Phytotherapy Research followed adults who took curcumin nightly for 4 weeks. Their cortisol levels dropped by an average of 23%. Deep sleep improved significantly, and brainwave measurements confirmed that the quality of their rest, not just the duration, had genuinely changed. To make it, stir half a teaspoon of pure turmeric powder and a small pinch of black pepper into 150 milliliters of warm milk. Almond, oat, or walnut milk all work well. Drink it slowly about 1 hour before bed. Don't make it too concentrated. Don't drink it on a completely empty stomach. This isn't just a sleep drink. It quietly reduces inflammation, eases joint discomfort through the night, and supports the tissue recovery your body is trying to carry out while you rest. If stress has ever kept you awake, or if you've ever woken up feeling sore and beaten up, try golden milk tonight. Golden milk brings cortisol down and prepares your body for sleep. But drink number 1 does something that nothing else on this list can match. It doesn't just help you fall asleep. It helps your body actively repair itself while you're sleeping. Muscles rebuild, collagen is restored, and you wake up the next morning with a lightness in your legs that you may not have felt in years.
Drink number 1, dissolved gelatin or bone broth. This is the drink I almost skipped over completely. You've probably heard of gelatin in the context of joints and skin. Most people know it offers some support for flexibility and elasticity. But very few people know that gelatin contains an amino acid that may be the single most effective natural sleep compound available to people over 60. That amino acid is glycine. Glycine does things that nothing else on this list is capable of. It gently lowers heart rate, it reduces your core body temperature, a critical biological signal that tells your brain the time for sleep has arrived, and it increases slow-wave brain activity, the deep, dreamless neural pattern that defines genuinely restorative sleep, the kind that leaves you feeling actually recovered in the morning. A 2007 study published in Neuropsychopharmacology showed that just 3 grams of glycine taken before bed produced deeper sleep, fewer nighttime awakenings, and, most strikingly, participants described waking up feeling clearer and more refreshed than they had in a long time. And here's the distinction that matters most. Glycine doesn't manufacture drowsiness the way sleeping pills do. Pills knock you unconscious. The sleep they produce isn't restorative. You technically sleep, but you wake up heavy, dull, and slower than when you went to bed. Glycine works with your body's own sleep architecture, not around it. No side effects, no morning fog, no dependency. This makes it particularly valuable for people who sleep a full 7 hours and still wake up feeling like they barely rested. There's one more dimension to this drink I want you to hear. Gelatin also triggers collagen synthesis during sleep. It supports muscle recovery, tissue repair, and joint maintenance. After 60, your body's ability to carry out these overnight repairs has declined significantly from what it once was. Gelatin helps fill that gap. This is why I say, this drink doesn't just help you sleep, it helps your body use that sleep for something, and you can feel the difference the next day. Lighter legs, less joint stiffness, a clearer head from the first moment you open your eyes.
To use it, dissolve 1 teaspoon of unflavored gelatin into 120 milliliters of warm water. Stir thoroughly until completely dissolved. Sip it slowly, 30 to 45 minutes before bed. For bone broth, choose a low-sodium version, warm it gently, and drink it on its own without food for maximum absorption. Quality bone broth, simmered slowly from bones, naturally contains gelatin, glycine, proline, and a range of minerals that calm the gut, nourish the joints, and maintain steady hydration through the night. This is the one I almost ignored because it seemed too simple. Now I reach for it every single evening. If you have tried every approach to improve your sleep and still wake up feeling like the night did nothing for you, try gelatin or bone broth tonight. It may not be a miraculous overnight cure, but for people over 60, sometimes the most powerful support is the simplest one, given at the right moment, in the right form, to a body that has been quietly waiting for exactly that. Now you know the 5 drinks, but knowing what to drink is only one half of the equation. The other half is how to drink it. Here are the 6 tips I promised earlier for everyone who commented, "I want this." Tip 1. Keep your serving to 100 to 150 milliliters, no more. 1 small cup of chamomile, half a glass of almond milk, a short cup of dissolved gelatin. Each of these carries enough active compounds to support sleep without placing any meaningful pressure on your bladder. Drinking more doesn't improve the effect, it only shortens your sleep. Tip 2. Drink 60 to 90 minutes before bed, not while you're already lying down. Build this into your evening routine after dinner. When you finish your drink, go to the bathroom one final time, brush your teeth, settle down. An empty bladder going into sleep is one of the most underrated factors in sleeping through the night. Tip 3. Prioritize drinks that are low in liquid volume but dense in active nutrients. Thickened gelatin, golden milk, and warm almond milk are ideal because they don't just hydrate. They hold water inside muscle and nerve tissue instead of routing it directly toward your kidneys. Tip 4. Train your bladder by going to the bathroom at the same time each night. Your bladder has memory. When you give it a reliable rhythm, it gradually learns to hold through the night with far less urgency and strain. Consistency is everything here. Tip 5. Sip slowly. Take 10 to 15 minutes to finish your drink. Breathe evenly. Don't swallow it all in one go. Slow intake helps your body absorb the compounds more fully and prevents the sudden fluid load that startles the bladder into urgency. Tip 6. Introduce 1 drink per week. Try almond milk for the first week, then gelatin, then chamomile. Everyone's body responds differently. Testing each drink on its own lets you identify exactly what works for you without creating confusion about what's helping and what isn't. You don't need sleeping pills. You don't need to force yourself to sleep earlier, and you don't need to accept one more restless night as simply the price of getting older. Sometimes it takes nothing more than one small change, one drink, the right kind, at the right time, gentle enough not to disturb your bladder, powerful enough to wake up your body's own sleep response. After 60, sleep stops being automatic. Your hormones shift, your nervous system grows more sensitive, your bladder loses patience. But none of that means you have to spend the rest of your life waking up at 2 a.m. and lying there alone in the dark, waiting for a morning that feels like it never comes. You can still sleep 6-7 hours straight. You can still wake up clear. You can still feel the difference between a night that rested you and one that didn't, because you're finally having both again. Let me recap. 5 drinks to replace plain water at night. Warm almond milk, magnesium and tryptophan relax your body from the inside out. Chamomile tea, apigenin quiets an overactive mind. Tart cherry juice, natural melatonin already formed, already ready. Golden milk, lowers cortisol, reduces inflammation, protects your heart through the night. Gelatin or bone broth, glycine takes you into deep sleep and lets your body rebuild while you're there. You don't need all 5, you need one. A small glass, the right kind, tonight. So which one are you going to try first? Tell me in the comments below, because your answer, your one small experience, might be the thing that finally gives someone else the peaceful night they've been searching for. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you never miss a new video. We're here every week, walking right alongside you toward the deep and restful sleep you've earned and you deserve.